Do you only bow hunt?
So this year was the first year where I strictly only bow hunted.
Okay.
Rifle hunted in the past. I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it like I enjoy bow hunting.
It's different, man.
It's a game changer when it comes to bow hunting. And I'm not saying rifle hunting isn't as challenging.
Oh, right.
But when you can take a shot, 300 yards, whatever you're comfortable with shooting, and then with a bow, I mean, you're maxing Eastern North Carolina, maybe 35, 40 yards.
On a good day.
Yeah. And then, if you go out, Virginia, Kentucky or something, maybe a 50, 60-yard shot on, conditions are good to take that shot type thing. So it's just the challenges there. It's a more personal up close with the animal.
It is. And that's the reason I'm such a fan of bow hunting is whenever my thought on bow hunting is I want it to be as close as possible. I don't want to, and I'm a very patient. I've become almost overly patient at times as well when it comes to taking a shot, which has kind of blown some opportunities because it was there and I let it pass. But I like it almost like a chip shot, man. I want it to be where I'm 100% confident in it. And I like everything close. If I can shoot everything at 7 yards, that's what I'm about it. Yeah. And that's one of the things I like about bow hunting, the challenge, how everything's got to be right. The wind, your scent, your access, the way you hung your stand, all of it, man. I love the challenge that it presents, with a bow.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it as you're in that deer's backyard.
Yeah.
If you were to walk into your house and your couch is 3 inches to the left, you're going to notice it. So with bow hunting, you got to approach it kind of the same way. Like you can't go in there, clear a bunch of lanes like you could with a rifle. Then they step out 300 yards and they don't really know what's going on. But with bow hunting, you're up close and personal. So you have to be extremely proficient and professional when it comes to, how you're going about it if you want to harvest a nice animal. Absolutely.
Yeah. You've got to, coming out on top too. It feels, because you have to put in that much effort.
Yeah.
And I like the thought of strategy.
Oh yeah.
That I put into, or coming up with a game plan. And before I even get in the woods, I'm like, I got it laid out. This is, how I'm going to access the woods based off the wind. And I just like everything that goes into it, because ultimately when you end up successful, it's even that much better. It doesn't feel so much like luck.
Absolutely.
It feels like I put in the time. I came up with the strategy in order to execute on this.
For sure.
So yeah, I love it, man. It's a challenge. And I think this year I'm going to play with a trad bow a little bit too.
Okay.
Just something different.
Yeah.
I see guys like Joe Long and Ruben and those guys, man. They had really good years this year with the traditional bow. And I look at it too, because all my shots here in North Carolina have been like 12 to 15 yards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, let me make this even harder than I should on myself and try it. That way, if I screw it up, I can do the trad bow.
Yep. It was the bow, wasn't it?
It was the bow.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
I haven't gone down that path yet. I don't know if I will. I really enjoy the compound. I enjoy the opportunities that it gives me just with the technology that they have nowadays. I guess I'm not that dedicated yet to go with a traditional bow.
Man, I don't know. I think I love a compound bow too, man. I love the technology. I love the energy they put out. I love shooting them far for fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just like bows, man.
Yeah.
Once I picked one up, man, it was a game changer for me. And I just kind of like to dabble in everything. And the trad side, I had messed with it a little bit, but I never really got into it. And then I talked more to guys like Joe and, and Ruben and those guys, and it just intrigued me more and more. So it's something else to throw in there and just give a shot, man, and see. But it's definitely, it's challenging.
I can only imagine. Like I've never tried it. And I don't know if I'm ready for it, because that step up in the challenge level.
Oh, you would be. It'd just be a different rabbit hole for you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about too. Is I kind of
consume you.
I go all in when it comes to stuff, and especially hunting and bow hunting.
Yep.
Next thing you know, I'd have 4 different trad bows at my house.
Oh, I know. I know. That's funny. So let's look at actually you're a little bit different than a lot of the customers that we get through, and we get a lot of them, but you shoot an 80-pound bow, and to be exact, an 87-pound bow.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some discussion on this.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of 80-pound bows. I have a shorter draw length. And I think if you can shoot it, why not? Especially if you can shoot it comfortably.
Yeah.
So what's kind of your reason for going that heavy poundage route?
So I like shooting a heavier arrow. And when I say, to me, it's a heavy arrow, it's about a 550 grain arrow. Yeah. I'm not a speed freak by any means. I used to be when I was younger, shooting super light arrows, just trying to get as much out of it. But with that heavy poundage at around 87 pounds with the 550 grain arrow, I think it's shooting right around like 289, 290 for feet per second.
What's your draw length?
29 and a half.
20, okay. Yeah, that's screaming fast for that arrow,
and it's quiet.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing is I want a quiet bow that's super efficient. And like you said, if I can pull it and I can pull it comfortably, and like I said, I'll try crazy positions. I turkey hunt with it. So I'm sitting, I'm in the saddle, whatever it is, I never shoot the same when it comes to like my position. I always try to change it up and challenge myself to see, okay, can I do it this way? Can I do it that way? Whether it's sitting, kneeling, standing, so I'm comfortable doing that, and I'll continue doing that until I can no longer, pull that bow back at that poundage.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, man. Why not if you can?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not knocking on guys who, shoot 60, shoot 70.
No, absolutely not.
And honestly, I don't bow hunt in a lot of colder climates. So maybe if I was bow hunting, say, where I grew up, northern Wisconsin, I may not shoot 87 pounds because it's going to be a lot more difficult to pull that when it's cold.
Right.
So maybe bump it down to 75 or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, I think a lot of people really knock stuff before they even consider, a reason, to look at it. And I'm not saying 80-pound bows are for everybody, because they're definitely not.
Yeah.
And that we know dudes, I know old guys, Mr. Bobby, he's been hunting forever, and he shoots like 45 or 50 pounds, and he absolutely kills good deer every year.
Speed doesn't kill, it's accuracy.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely
what it boils
right,
down
man.
to.
Yep. And that's what people forget though, too, with a bow is, shot placement.
Yeah.
The goal is a good, clean shot.
Fact.
So that's not just packing on a bunch of poundage on a bow, shooting a heavy arrow and put it wherever you want. The goal is still shot placement.
Yeah. I'm not the guy where it's like, I'm going to bust through a shoulder.
Right.
I'm not trying to take those marginal shots. I actually won't take a shot unless it's a clean, ethical shot that presents itself. So I know there's a lot of guys out there that, they're talking about, these certain broadheads, they're bone crushers. And it's like, that's great. I mean, I encourage you guys to do that if that's what you want. But like you said, you can't knock it until you try it,
right? Type
thing. So I won't knock any bow hunter for whatever they're shooting. It's whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you can shoot proficiently.
Well, that's it. That's a great thing about archery and bow hunting, man. There's so many options out there. There's so many great brands too.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to bows, I mean, all the top brands now are awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you really can't get hung up on one brand, in my opinion. In the efficiency and the energy that these bows have now with the cam systems. I mean, you're getting crazy speeds and energy out of even, lighter poundage bows.
Yeah.
So,
I would say, shoot every bow before you make a purchase. Shoot every one.
Yep.
Don't get sold on, oh, hey, I want a Hoyt. Like, try the Matthews, try the PSE, try the Prime, try every bow out there. And it's what bow you shoot the best.
Yep.
And what feels the best, while you're shooting it.
That's
Absolutely.
what I would say. Absolutely. Because they do change every year, man.
Yeah.
Some years, some bows feel better than others. And, I've never been, a brand loyal individual, especially with the bow side of things. And that's the thing about our shop too. And that's the reason I started the shop the way we did is because I want people to come in and have options. Yeah. And, if you want the Matthews bow, we've got the Matthews bow. But if you want the PSE, the Prime, the Bowtech, we carry those too because, they make incredible bows, man. Yeah. And I think people should be less caught up on what everyone else is shooting and focus on what feels good for them and kind of what their end goal is too. Absolutely. You're a target guy, you a bow hunter, you a saddle hunter, you a ground hunter. I mean, take all those things into consideration before making your bow purchase.
Yeah, for sure.